Hello, my name is Louis Leterrier, and I am the director of Fast X. So starting with this idea, I wanted to start the movie in a different way than a Fast and Furious movie, your typical Fast and Furious movie. I wanted to set a mood, bring you back 10 years before. And with this sort of like almost hypnotic opening shot, I thought that it was sort of like settle the audience in. After seeing trailers, after the excitement, you just like relax. Lights go dim, sound goes up, and that's what we did.
Because the father and the son is everything. I have a job that I can only trust.
I also wanted the theme from Fast 5 to start the movie. And here is Jason Momoa and Joaquin de Almeida, and they both have been ageified younger through a process with a company called Lola.
Make Toretto suffer.
We shot this sequence in, with the original cameras that 5 was shot in, and in 35 millimeter. And then we had to convert this film digitally to then work on and do visual effects that weren't done then. And that actually is a very difficult process because you have to bring it to 2023 and then send it back to 2011. And that was a difficult process visually. So obviously Fast 5 is possibly one of the greatest action films of all time. And the idea in the beginning of the movie was Rashomon, the Akira Kurosawa movie, the Rashomon, where a story is told many ways. So we wanted to show this heist, this amazing heist, but through the point of view of the Reyes family, Dante, and obviously his father. So we use some of the dailies, some of the shots from the movie, but also dailies, raw dailies, shot 10, 11 years ago, but also shot new stuff. So this shot of Jason Momoa rushing through the safe, we rebuilt this entire set exactly as it was, perfectly redone, and then we did this. And then we added some of our touch. For example, this shot, this fun pullback just to get you into the mood, back into Fast 5. This is obviously Justin Lin's Fast 5. Spiro Rosatos was second unit director of both Fast 5 and Fast 10. So it was actually quite organic to go back and forth from one and the other. And as you can see, there are some new shots that you've never seen before and some old shots that were done in the movie. Brand new sound design, brand new music, brand new everything, and because we wanted a different point of view. All of these shots of Jason Momoa, everything was shot, as I said, in 35 millimeter. That shot, for example, of Jason pulling up to him was a shot where somebody else was driving, and then we motion controlled this shot and put Jason in the seat. So yeah.
Now you stick with the plan.
It was always the plan.
Don't say Saïd.
The sound mix is very interesting in our movie and very important for me, and I wanted the cars to be forward and to hear every gear shift, every, tire screech on the asphalt. That was very, very important for me, because the cars are part of the characters. They represent the characters in so many ways, and the sound of the cars represent the feeling of these characters. The safe also, with now our new Dolby Atmos and all the stuff we can do with digital sound, we could really bring weight to this safe. The sound in your home theater or in regular theaters is so massive of this safe. All that was shot again with Jason Momoa and Joaquin de Almeida. I love this logo. This logo is amazing. I really wanted to make it part of our movie and integrate it into our sequence and make it the almost transitional piece between the past and the present. This was the funnest day shooting. This was a day without actors, just a bunch of camera people and one Dodge Charger zooming around the Dodger Stadium parking lot. The Dodger Stadium lot, as you know, is where Brian O'Connor learned to drive in the first Fast and Furious, and I wanted to go back to this as part of the franchise. This is a goalpost of the franchise.
I didn't have it.
No one starts at the finish line. You gotta have faith. Remember today's lesson. Find the line, feel the car, and let it fly. It's okay to be afraid. Sometimes fear can be the best teacher.
I wasn't scared.
Everyone gets scared, son.
You don't. You're not afraid of anything.
A new actor. We're welcoming Leo, who's our beautiful actor portrayed in now this 8-year-old little Brian. The chemistry between Vin and Leo was incredible. He had no problem making them feel like they were related. They loved each other so much, and Vin is an amazing father, and he embraced Leo like he was his own son.
You have been dead. It's time to get you living.
Told you guys, I don't need that.
There, profile done. You're welcome.
You give it about 3-4 days.
It never happens instantly. Wait, what?
Wow. Let me see your profile.
This was the first scene that we shot with them, the Fantastic Four, as we call them. Tej, Roman, Han, and Ramsey. And they had so much fun. They loved each other. And it was also the first scene for the whole family to be in together. And welcoming this legend, Rita Moreno, into the family was very beautiful. Rita is an angel. She really brought something new to this franchise, new to this family. And when she spoke, everybody listened, and it was so lovely. It really did feel like a family reunion. And that was one of my first week on Fast as the director. And we were just around this table telling stories, and really it felt like a family barbecue. And sometimes I had to say, I'm so sorry, we have to shoot now. And we just roll cameras and just dialogue happened, but the mood was there. Everything you feel on screen and I was able to capture was present. The dialogue changed, but the feeling was there. They really are a very tight family, off screen and on screen. So just to put this barbecue at the head of the movie was an interesting structural choice, because it meant that everything is right at the beginning of our movie. And you see the legacy of Dom Toretto, his family, the 4 generations of this family, 3 generations present at the table, his father only missing, just meant a lot for all of us and meant a lot for what this Fast was going to be.
Hey, these new Nikes, man, stop playing.
Come on, Raymond. The agency put you in charge, and you said I get to drive.
See, what I really need is I need your brain.
Words Roman Pierce has never said.
So, talk me through it again. I need details.
Yeah. The agency got a tip on some stolen military hardware. Tomorrow, a next-gen quantum computer chip will be transported through the streets of Rome.
So obviously when I got the job as a director, I called a lot of people I knew that had been working on Fast and Furious movies, and I said, so give me tips, what do you need? And one of the tips that Fred Raskin, the previous editor of these movies, who was not available on this one, gave me was just let everybody flow. Let people improvise. Just the lines are the lines. They'll give you the lines, but just don't limit yourself to the lines. The lines are just a blueprint to get to where you'll eventually get. So every take is different, especially with Roman, Tej, Ramsey, Han. Like, the improvisation is key. And I really embraced that. And really, most of what you see in the movie was improvised and done greatly.
No fuel injection. I'd expect something bigger and better from you, Dom.
Little B and I are building it together. The carburetor forces him to listen. That's the problem nowadays. Nobody listens anymore.
Well, you better watch.
So the garage scene. So that scene didn't exist a couple of days before we shot this house barbecue scene. And as we walked around, and Vin introduced me and was telling me about, just introduced me to everyone, and we were talking about the movie, we walked onto the garage, and the garage, there's a feeling of there's history in the garage. Although the garage is built and rebuilt, on set and in various different ways, we wanted to capture what I felt and put it on film. And that's why we came up with this sort of like intro with Han and the relationship of, how they grew up and how they evolved as men and as parents, but also leaving Dom alone and Dom with his memories and his legacy and what this quarter of a century is and represents for him and, frankly, for the audience, the world audience. So we took a little bit of a walk through memory lane, a brief one because we need to get going with our movie. But I think it was important to set where Dom is and Dom went and who is lost along the way. And also the new generation meets the previous ones and the advices they have for one another.
You honor his name. Hold us in your heart, and you will never lose your way.
And that line was found in the moment, on the day. Rita Moreno came up with this line, and we loved it, and it was very moving. It just gives you the power of love that just has carried this franchise and this family for many, many years and through many adventures.
You will be better than me.
What are you looking at?
And Fast and Furious is also one of the longest running love story of all time. Dom and Letty is a couple that has lasted 25 years almost, and they're still in love, and playful and in sync with each other like they were the first day they met. And it's beautiful to see. It's beautiful to be with them and age with them and go through these adventures. And obviously, as we know, they went through so many adventures, through, feeling that they've lost each other, memory loss, twists, turns, everything. But at the end of the day, love prevails. And just to have a moment, with a quiet moment between the two of them in this bedroom, in the house that they built and rebuilt, was very important. It centered us. It meant that through everything that they went through, at the end of the day, they calm each other. They're what's most important for each other. And the passing of the cross also meant a lot, because, that's the beacon for us. And I'll explain more about this idea of the cross and, how it's important in the movie.
That's not gonna You can keep your eyes on that rear view all you want. But you know what you miss?
What?
Eternity. In this moment.
So after establishing this moment of calm and serenity and, you know, how far they've gone and how they prevailed, there's a bit of a horror moment there, and that's what I wanted to see. And Cypher shows up, and Cypher showing up at the door, the arch enemy, the woman who killed the mother of his child, showing up at his doorstep, brought the weight of our movie in. And just that's the structure that we wanted, you know, starting with the love and starting with the calm and starting with the happiness, and just ripping it apart and seeing how Dom deals with it and how he tries to control himself, because he knows that if your mortal enemy shows up at your door, beat up, bloodied, there's something afoot. There's something truly, truly dangerous that's happening.
And don't you think I'd have a goddamn good reason to be here? Maybe the only reason that's ever mattered to you.
Little B. Wake up, sweetie. We have an unwanted guest. You know what to do. What is it that you want?
Speak.
Structurally also, this is the first Fast that doesn't hesitate with playing with time and flashbacks and having the audience follow several timelines at the same time. And we embrace this because it's a great tool to get people truly focused and involved in the story.
They say when you're facing death, your life flashes before your eyes. Are they right?
Let's start with who you are.
Question most can't answer in a lifetime.
You have 3 seconds.
Before you bleed out on my couch.
That scene is very interesting because Jason Momoa was finding his character. That's the first scene he shot, and that's him focusing his character and, you know, finding stuff. And he gave us so much in the dailies, like, you know, so many ideas. And it's just like he went very big and also very focused. That was very interesting. It's just like he was able to really hone in on his character, you know, in these 2 days of shooting. And it's very hard for an actor to ask an actor to create an iconic character, bigger than life character. And obviously you have to bring a lot of themselves into this character, but especially when you play a villain, you have to really believe in what you're saying. And, you know, the atrocious things that you are doing, you have to believe in them in a sense. And his way of believing in it was to be playful about it and just to truly enjoy the cruelty. Which is not, obviously, that's not Jason. Jason is the nicest man ever. But he just loved the theatrics and just being fun.
Who could it be? Cute kids. Ooh. They all had something to take except
Licking the knife, for example. When you lick the knife, I was just go, whoa, that's a lot. And I don't think that'll ever be in a movie. But as I played with it, I just realized that that's the character. That's who he is. That's just, he tastes the pain and he loves it.
control the world. I just want to punish it.
And see, and there are moments like this where he gets extremely focused. And that's the power of Dante, and you'll see it, where he goes extremely big and then gets zeroes in on one line. And he looks straight into Cypher's soul.
Come with me. All right, you know what to do.
Charlize is obviously one of the greatest actresses in the world, and she gave it all to him. She gave him his power and embraced the power they gave her. And you can see the fear in her eyes. You know, for Cypher to be afraid, that means that she's met her match, and she sees something that she cannot control, because Cypher loves to control stuff.
It is hard finding good help these days.
And also, Charlize Theron is one of the greatest fighters ever, and she commits, she gets in it. There's like an action intelligence that you need to have to be a great fighter, and Charlize has it in stride. She will remember her fight choreography, enhance upon the fight choreography. She'll rehearse when the cameras are on, and when she shoots, and we don't do too many takes, but really she turns it on to the max. And it's very much, it's rare because they're not comfortable, because it's out of their comfort zone. They're not comfortable with action. You see them almost thinking about the choreography. She never thinks about the choreography. The acting is first and foremost, and the choreography becomes real, powerful, elegant in a way, but elegant in its violence. Look at her expressions. If you just look at her face during this fight, you can see that she's never not acting. It's always pure acting. She commits to everything she's doing. I love close quarter fights. They are the most intense to shoot, and they're the hardest to do. We love this idea of the elevator and this ticking clock. Ticking clocks are so important in action, and just this idea of like this elevator free falling and how she'll come out of it, and oof, and this spring coming through the guy close to her head. That was pretty scary.
There's a war coming. The sides are being chosen. And everyone you love will be destroyed.
This line and that delivery is chilling, because it just shows that this is much bigger than any one of them. There's something at stake that is much bigger than anything they have ever dealt with, and no one else but Charlize Theron could have delivered it that way.
Lost 6 pints of blood. Normal person dies at 4. We're shipping her back to our black site. She may not make it.
What did the story check out?
We confirmed the shooting downtown, but her tech wasn't there, and whoever took it now has an electronic arsenal. You've alerted your people?
Yeah, me and Brian are safe.
I tried to get in touch with Roman, Tej, Ramsey, Han. No answer.
Any idea where they might be?
In Rome. Working for you.
Don, we don't have a mission in Rome.
It's a setup.
And with this scene with Scott Eastwood, what's great is that he, again, propels us. And we all realize that they're being played. There's a puppet master out there that's playing all of them. Agency, family, everyone is being played. Cypher. Everything you've seen and you've known for the last 9 movies has been turned on its head, and it's going to be quite different.
I always keep my promises. Head back up.
And yet, Dom is a great father and will still say goodbye to his son, and we'll see him later. So Rome, we got to shoot in Rome. Shooting in these incredible cities going around the world is Fast and Furious trademark, and that's the signature of our movies. Rome, obviously ancestral cities of the, a fallen empire, meant so much, and we wanted to start this movie in a beautiful city, but also a city that represents so much. The Vatican being at the center of Rome meant so much for Dom.
You know, we'd already be there if Roman wasn't driving Fort Knox on wheels.
You know what's under this hood, baby? This car is sick.
This old girl lacks in horsepower.
Let's talk about cars. Rome, obviously Italy. Some of the greatest cars are built in Italy, so we wanted to have Lamborghini and an Alfa zoom through the streets of Rome.
Will you marry me?
That's all it took.
And we had Letty on a motorcycle, which is really fun. You'll understand why we put her on a motorcycle later. But, you know, everybody has their own iconic car, and obviously the Charger for Dom. And that's the modern Charger. That's the 2023 souped-up version.
Damn sure we couldn't warn them.
Keep searching, they're close.
All right, everybody, showtime.
Here we go.
Fast and Furious, obviously, if you think of it as a superhero franchise, the cars are their superpowers.
What are you talking about, Roman?
So obviously, when Roman plays with Tej and, you know, has him drive an RC car and puts on it a little bobblehead of Tej, we could have fun with it. And just the improv was really fun between these two, and just having them just mock each other, and it was really fun.
Back is blind.
Watch out, ladies. This ain't none of your business. It's time to shine.
When you see the actors drive, you want to feel the actors driving. Obviously, there's some stunt work that cannot be done with the actors, but you want the actors to actually be doing their stuff and their stunts. And, you know, stunt doubles are running on a real rooftop, but our actors are jumping on the side, and that really is Chris, and that really is Natalie on the side. Cabled, of course, when we raised the cable, but, like, you know, grabbing the people and, you know, the stuntmen and throwing them out, and then they're inside the truck. It's very important to put the characters in the cars, because otherwise it just feels still and static. Most of the fun of Fast and Furious is to see the action through the eyes of your characters, the characters that you love.
And a 1 and a 2.
So this was done for real. So we, you know, no CG involved here. You know, we polished some stuff and we erased some of the explosives that we needed to do this trick. We really launched these cars up in the air. These two, you know, it's like a 2-ton car. A Hummer is a 2-ton car, and they were launched in the middle of Rome. Could not touch the building, could not touch the trees, could not damage the century-old pavement, and you know, everything was done perfectly with Spiro, and the crew, our special effects crew also.
Reports of 2 explosions near the Forum.
That's them.
Ready? And... Wait, you hear that? What the hell is that?
I have no idea.
Oh, shit. That's a big-ass bomb!
What?
Bomb!
Roman, you said this was carrying chips for a supercomputer.
I think what's so enjoyable about our movie is the fun that Dante has with them. He just loves to mess with them. It's rare that you want to spend as much time with your bad guy as you want to spend with your good guys in a movie as an audience member. Whenever we cut to Dante, I'm like happy, but whenever we cut to the family, I'm happy too. It's fun, you know. You know, these are the worthy adversaries, you know.
I'll do it. You guys are going to hell.
That's their truck.
Oh, thank God. Dom, Letty.
Ooh, look who's here.
Right on time, Dominic.
Turn off the encrypted radio.
There are so many parts needed to be shot and assembled when you do, you know, these sort of like action set pieces for Fast and Furious. You need like the Rome main sequence, then, you know, second you need to do the cars, the stunts. Every actor needs to be shot separately. Everything that is inside their screens needs to be shot and assembled. You need to shoot plates to put the actors against. You need, for the stunts, you need to put, it's just so complex. It is a real puzzle, and you need to have a very clear understanding of how it's done and what you want to see. So I compare being a director for the Fast and Furious movie as being a conductor, where you have this gigantic orchestra that you play, more violins here, you know, more drums there, and, you know, it's exactly this. But I need to have this whole orchestra. I need it all in order to assemble it, and, you know, that's why We have like massive crews just to capture it all and capture it all perfectly. And we have the best crew in the world. And that's what it looks so perfect, because it's done for real.
Really? Clothesline? Well, can't drive it, so we're just gonna have to roll it.
What you're about to see was done for real. We flipped a truck and jumped a motorcycle, then did it all and assembled it all and had the actors, obviously not in this truck, but like in another cabin, flipped over. We did it all for real. We assembled it afterwards all together, but because we want everything to be safe. But this was all done for real. The sliding was done for real. The crashing the cars, as you can see, we crashed the Lamborghini into the truck. That was a ouchie day when this happened. And it was not meant to happen, but we went a little too fast and the Lamborghini really crashed and got damaged.
Everybody stay clear. I got this.
No, we got this.
I think what's most important when doing an action set piece is to keep the characters involved and keep the story going when you do an action set piece. The characters never disappear. The action only supports the characters and the characters only support the action. It's just, the dialogue is very important.
Have we made them all terrorists?
Their images have been fed to the authorities.
All right, Bob! I gotta go kill that jerk who's trying to disarm my bomb.
With this moment with Jason, it's character. You understand his character. He's having fun and he's just playful and he's, reinstates the challenges and the stakes at hand, and we do it all while a giant ball is rolling down the streets of Rome. Speaking of the giant ball rolling down the streets of Rome, yes, we did it for real. Obviously, it was not a real bomb, but it was a real giant metal ball that was rolled downhill. The thing was 1 ton and was going down ancient streets held by cables, very secure, all that stuff. It was done for real. This, Jason Momoa did it without telling us. Jumping on a motorcycle without a helmet and doing it. When the studios got the deal, they're like, okay, well, how are you getting all these amazing shots of Jason? It looks like, yeah, he's actually doing it all by himself. What? Yes, by himself. We didn't know. I mean, we knew he was a rider, but we didn't know how great of a motorcycle rider he was. So all the stunts that Jason is doing, he's doing it by himself. That's him riding his motorcycle, no helmet, down the streets of Rome, doing all the acting he needs and having so much fun. I actually told him, can you actually sing O Sole Mio tomorrow? And he said, what, I don't know how Sole Mio. So he learned the song, sang it, doing all that stuff while performing on a motorcycle.
That pump's gonna blow.
That's one of the first major action set pieces we did, the explosion there, because it was very, very difficult. So all that fire, that ball, this car, that car going on its 2 wheels and the cars following on fire, that was done for real. So again, that was a good test of like what we could do for real or not. And it went perfectly, so we said, all right, let's keep going. Stopping the car, also very real. That was our superhero moment, just like Superman stopping a meteorite, Tom trying to stop the ball with his car and doing that. That shot was actually quite fun. So I saw this amazing drone shot zooming out of the car, and I said, oh, we could tie Dom inside. We could start inside the car and have the window explode and then zoom out. And there's a lot of instances of this that happen on this movie where I saw amazing dailies from second unit and then was able to attach first unit shots to them. And because I wanted to integrate the inside of the car with the outside, and you'll see a lot of that, of those instances happen throughout the movie where we tie the inside with the outside, with the outside with the inside. I think it's very important here. The Spanish Steps, one of the most beautiful icons of Rome. Obviously, we could not destroy it, and thankfully so. So what we had to do was to shoot all these plates. So plates are just shots without any cars or visual effects or anything, and then we add everything to it. And we shot these plates with the people, and with drones and with regular cameras, everything. And then we rebuilt part of the Spanish Steps just to create and roll the cars on it and the ball on it, and then we tied it all together and made it all one. These dogs that you saw are the most important dogs in movie history. They're Spiro, the second unit director's dogs, and this was the most important shot that he ever shot in his whole career. He thought that these dogs were brilliant actors, and I think they are. And it's really fun to see them act and see both the ball and the car when nothing was there on set that day. It's great. That bus was split open, everything was real. So you really see the difference between, or the integration between the real and the not real, or the added, the comped, because everything is shot in a way, but shot maybe somewhere else in England or, on an airport somewhere just to pick up some speed and do it safely. And that's the reason why Ladies Riding a Motorcycle, this amazing stunt we saw online, and we're like, we need to get this. We've never seen this captured on film. Let's get this. Let's absolutely get this amazing. So this amazing motorcycle stuntman was able to do that for us. So shooting an action set piece, especially a long one like this one, is complex because you have to keep the idea of the goal and the ticking clock and what needs to happen and what they need to prevent and what Dante is trying to do and what the team is trying to prevent. We need to establish, there was a few ideas, we knew we wanted to go in Rome and do all that stuff. We had the geography, we knew we had the cars, we knew it. But then slowly but surely we added elements just to connect them, interconnecting moment. This idea of like Letty has to stay close to him to jam his signal, and therefore she's on a motorcycle and he's on a motorcycle, and Dom is in a car trying to stop the ball, playing soccer with the ball. All that stuff was fun. And the geography heading towards the Vatican, it meant that you cannot be lost. The geography, the goal and the geography are some of the most important elements of a good set piece, in my taste. Also, ticking clock, and literally now we had a ticking clock. We saw and we established it.
Dom, listen to me. Vatican's within the blast radius. Get out of there. You've done everything you could. Not everything.
And that's when we go from soccer to baseball with Dom hitting this crane and the crane knocking the bomb into the river.
3, 2, 1.
I don't think there's been as much destruction in a Fast and Furious movie in an ancestral city as Rome is. And again, we left it unscathed, unscarred, but we did all of that stuff for real. So when you see those cars lifting, they really were lifted. That shockwave seemingly just lifted all these cars. And these Italian Cup cars, many were destroyed.
What have we done?
I love the sound. That was one of the images I had of like all the bells of Rome ringing at once after this explosion.
I'll see you soon.
It's the birth of Dante. You know, the death of civilization and the birth of Dante, and all these bells ringing at once were very important. Yeah.
To be a large military weapon.
The Vatican has sustained some.
What Dante wants is to turn the world against our heroes, against Dom and his associates. You know, that's his goal. You know, make them public enemy number one, and that makes it all very, very, very hard.
Law enforcement is working across borders, mobilizing an international fugitive hunt of unprecedented scale.
I'm sorry, sir. I don't know how she got in.
I do. I stole your badge. I'm done with it now, though. Thanks.
Well, if it isn't, honestly...
Although it's Fast and Furious 10, we're introducing new characters. The, new blood. The agency has changed hands.
You can walk in this room.
Ames, played by Alan Richardson, and Tess, played by Brie Larson.
Disaster. Casualties were kept to a minimum, but the impact was global.
And what do you think happened in Italy?
Oh, sightseeing, eating bucatini, stealing a 20-kiloton bomb.
Oh, come on.
I love this scene. It was so great. It was just like their first day on set, first day together, and so much dialogue and such great acting, and also going through the history of Fast and Furious together. It was great. It was like the three new guys on set, the two of them and me, just looking at all these videos and just like remembering how cool these people are.
You write that yourself?
We first took notice in 2011, Rio. When they robbed a drug kingpin, Hernan Reyes left his body on a bridge. My predecessor, Mr. Nobody, saw potential. So he recruited him freelance, of course.
I just love their reaction. It's just like, I love how they played together. They're really fun. There's a tongue-in-cheek aspect to their relationship that is really fun.
To corrupt law enforcement, Brian O'Connor, Elena Neves, Luke Hobbs, everyone becomes family. It's like a cult with cars. Even Tess's dear old dad.
So we're all just a barbecue and a beer away from corruption? What's your point?
Point is, they're criminals. Rome was a matter of time. They've stolen hundreds of millions of dollars and at least one nuclear sub. The real question is, how did we let this go on so long?
This family has gotten their hands dirty to keep ours clean. They've driven to the gates of hell and back for this agency. Something is not right with Rome. It can't be.
So that scene was important because it shows that the family is stuck between a rock and a hard place. They've become public enemies. They have a new foe chasing them, and the agency with whom they've been working, or for whom they've been working for a long time, has turned on them. So they're going to need new allies.
What are you doing?
And Tess is one of them. She's the guardian angel that Dom is going to need.
Looks like the eyes have it. As your direct superior, I don't give a shit about anybody's heart of gold, and I hate barbecues. You know I'd make a freight train take a dirt road.
And being Mr. Nobody's daughter, there's a lot of history that will come up to the surface.
I'll go my own way.
My world has fallen
I love this shot of Vin in front of the Colosseum. It's just so strong. You're just seeing this modern gladiator in front of the place where so many of them, the ancient real gladiators, died, and what it means.
When Rome falls, so does the world.
Well, it ain't no Roman holiday. And you're no Gregory Peck.
And Ellen Mirren appears.
Your team's gone to ground. They're safe for now.
The women in Dom's life are really the guiding forces in his life. He's surrounded by, so many strong characters and so many powerful women that he draws his strength from them. He's as strong of a man as he is, as strong of an icon as Dom Toretto is. He needs to take a knee sometimes, and the women will empower him with even more strength.
Have that belt and he'll know where to go.
I've got a message for you, Ducky. The world is on fire, And you want to keep running into the burning building to save lives, but eventually the building's going to collapse on you.
I don't care about dying. I only care about protecting the people that I love.
You know why gladiators never had families?
Why?
Because they knew that every day might be their last.
And also the beauty of Helen Mirren, well, Queenie Shaw, is that she's shades of gray. She's not a good, no bad. She's just like, she's real. And that's so strong and so real for Dom. It just makes her the perfect ally and the only voice he'll listen to. Somebody who with no allegiance.
Bring God's Eye online.
Yes, sir. Initiating.
Give me Toretto and the others' locations. To the millimeter.
Sir, we have a problem. The God's Eye tracking hardware has been removed.
Tess, I guess her visit wasn't purely a social call. Do me a favor. She pops up on any grid. Let's see where she goes.
So are we playing tricks on each other? Tess stole God's Eye. The agency is, just military power, but God's Eye is done. No one can rely on each other.
Find his family.
I love this. We lost a song and we found this jingle, and as we rolled it back, it sounded like a jingle for like a sitcom from the 80s, looking at the house. And I thought it was a nice sort of like moment after a couple of very serious scenes, just to get back into the Fast and Furious mood. But obviously the stakes are real and the agency is attacking the house.
Search everywhere! We need them alive!
So the agency is turning onto the family. That pan throwing is the most important shot of the movie because I threw that pan onto the guy's face. And please never forget this, that I'm an action director, but also an action performer. Leo was amazing, and Jordana, I mean, they just gave it all. These scenes are very, very hard to do because you have to commit to, it's days of shooting and you have to be in the moment, learn a choreography, be part of it, not hurt yourself or, other people, and just stay there, stay focused. There's cuts and action. You have to believe in what you're doing.
What's up?
Uncle Jacob?
And here, Mr. John Cena.
Change your plans.
There's a contest on set, which was like, who's the nicest person on set? And, who's kindest to everyone, who's this? And John Cena always won. He says hi to everyone. He's so kind. He's like the most genuinely kind person on set. And everybody was like so charming and so nice with each other. But John is above and beyond the kindest man ever. And he can kick ass. Really can kick ass. There's a shot, the shot where he goes against the wall and shoots the guy. He's turning his, I was like, oh, you do this, and you just put your hand around your back, and then you shoot around your shoulder, and you shoot behind your back. And he was like, sure, you can do it, but I can't. I mean, yeah, obviously, his arm is bigger than 2 of my legs. And look what he can do. Usually, that man can lift another man in full body armor and throw him through a floor. It's actually quite fun because that's John Cena, the wrestler. That's his move, that's the move that he used to do just to put another wrestler down. And that was fun to use that again. He hadn't done that for a long, long time. And he actually enjoyed doing that.
Are you okay? B! Oh, God. Who the hell were those guys?
Agency. Rome was a trap. Whole family's being targeted.
Okay, I gotta get to Brian and the kids.
Dom sent me to take him. Remember that place we said we'd go if the world went to hell? Dom wants the team to meet there.
Yeah. Okay, look.
It just really goes to show that these people are truly committed to what they're doing, because as intense as the scene that you just witnessed was, I think the this scene between the two of them, the acting is really, really great. Like Jordana and John are really giving love to each other in a brotherly way. And that felt real to me when we got it.
My God!
That moment's very funny because obviously we know Jacob from 9, you know, and how hard he was. To see Jacob's softer, funner side and to really get to play with it in this one, that's really what I enjoyed. I asked John if he was okay with it. You know, everything I know of John Cena is that he's just a lovely, nice, funny person. And I wanted to expand upon this and, you know, make him threatening as we saw him in 9, but expand on what John Cena is and who Jacob would become. And we enjoyed doing that together.
I'm looking for someone. You boys look like you could use a drink. How about a round on me? Huh? As a matter of fact, I will buy as many rounds as they can handle.
Sei venuta qui in cerca di persone. Non te ne andrai, stronza.
Shots? No? Shots?
That fight choreography I remember because that was Bree's first day on set, and you know she picked some beautiful high heel shoes, and then she came on set and I said, okay, and now remember you have the choreography, and she maybe forgot or you know had decided not to remember, but anyway she had to do this whole fight choreography on set on giant heels, and that was actually very hard. That's why she's not very far from the bar, just in case.
I came in from the cold.
Your dad kept the agency in line.
And that also was Vin and Bree's first scene together. They knew each other, so I don't know if you know the story, but she's a huge fan of the franchise and asked to meet up with Vin. And, you know, it was not a meeting in an office. In Vin, as Vin does, invited her home. And they had a lovely family day with Vin's family and, you know, his kids. And they came up with a character together and taking everything that they felt about the franchise and putting it all into this one scene and making the character evolve. So what you see, what actually is written in the back of Bree's jacket is something that Vin's daughter had written on one of her jackets, you know? And obviously these are stories that are being written and expanded upon, but we gather ideas from our real life, from our real emotions. And that's why so much of these characters are the real actors.
Prison off of every map.
Then get her out.
Nobody can.
Nobody would.
Dom, I'm so sorry, but what you're asking me to do is impossible.
Nothing's impossible. You just have to have faith.
And talking about real, real characters, real actors, I mean, these moments are real. Like, I don't know what happened, behind, as the doors of the containers were shut, but, Tej, Han, and Ramsey came out as Song, Chris, and Natalie, and I don't know what Tyrese did to them, but they were really like, they had to come out of this container.
As a leader, you see what I'm saying? I'm a natural-born leader.
Where are we?
I brought you back home, Ramsey.
The city with the most amount of surveillance cameras. Perfect.
And new relationships also were formed on this movie, like Jacob and Little B. Leo and John obviously didn't know each other and before the movie started, and we had to create this relationship between a boy and his uncle, where you feel the love, you feel the moment, but also the journey is interesting because it starts as them not being awkward with each other, and slowly the ice melting.
I got this car when I was 13. Did the repaint myself. Rebuilt the motor too.
So that song really helped. So I had the rights to a few songs available. So I came to John and I said, okay, John, what do you choose? It is like all these songs from the early 90s, and John chose this one. Because I guess he knew the lyrics perfectly well. It's like by heart. That's his song. That was that's his. He, I guess, pumped himself up, early in his career, using this song. So all that stuff was not written. It was like somewhat improvised. We improvised around what was written, and it made for a true moment between these two. It was important to find the characters, to find the truth, and to find the love. And with this one scene, we found it.
You're clear, Director.
Fancy coat, expensive earrings. Those gotta hurt. You really brought out the big guns, huh?
I'm not here for the agency.
You could have confiscated that.
That scar.
So there you go. So the cross, it's a beacon for us. It means so much. It's faith, but faith with a capital F. It's not a single religion-based idea. Obviously it is, but it's, we used it as more of faith. Faith actually it's me being French, I can tell you, foi in French, and it comes from foi, and that's a French word that means believe in yourself. You have to believe in yourself. And then religion took it and changed the meaning of the word, but that's what it meant. It was believe in yourself. And just to have these two women and, believing in each other and say, believe in yourself, follow me, believe me, even as hard as I'm going to do, as I'm going to stab you, but you have to believe that that's the right way I'm going to send you, and that meant it.
Really?
Brazil! We're back. We're back in Rio. And obviously we had this idea of this tuner party. And tuner party is, in Fast and Furious, iconic. And we needed to have some extras that were engaged. And we had the best extras. And they were so happy, dancing for days. At night, wearing close to nothing and loving the fact that they were part of Fast and Furious. When Vin arrived on set, this is true excitement, true excitement.
Look at this! None of this happens with
Diogo, Luis, we missed him. It's been so long. We hadn't seen him for so many years, and just to see him again, just taste of Brazil, of that moment that was captured by Justin Lin in 5, and just to have that moment just like 10 years later and see how it all evolved and how the Brazil tuna scene has evolved, thanks to Dom, was important. And new drivers.
I need you to be somebody. A GOAT, a living legend, literally.
Eu sei quem ele é. Difícil não saber, né?
You must be in the winner's circle tonight. I see you put
Daniela Melchior. She's such a wonderful young actress. She's so lovely and so committed and so excited to be part of Fast. She's been in everything and will be in everything. She's just one of the greatest upcoming actresses, world actresses. And it's so nice to have just these actors, all these actors meeting on one set and just playing together. The peacock is here, baby, as he says. So when I firstly spoke to Jason, about his character. I said, what's your idea of the character? He said, well, frankly, I want to play him like a freshly screwed with peacock. And I didn't know what he meant then. And, you know, every time we shot a scene, I was like, oh, I know what he is. He's just this beautiful peacock of a character that just is beaming with excitement and love, and to have an enemy who's in awe, in love really, with his enemy is the greatest. It's like he adores everything that Dom does. He's admired him, he studied him, Dom is his hero.
You remember my father?
Hernan Reyes.
Yes.
I remember he thought he had his foot on the city's neck. But you know what happened? I took him down.
Let's not argue in front of the children. You are absolutely right. My father was a horrible man. Very bad daddy. But I kind of liked him, and you took him from me when you stole our money and left us with nothing but suffering.
That's what I came here for. To end that suffering. Oh, and I didn't take that money. I burned it.
They're so good there, the two of them. It was such a fun scene. They're just great friends in real life, but then, when the cameras turned on, they were so good and so hating each other. That moment is great. It's just like that City of God moment where guns are drawn and, you know, it's just, we're playing the pressure of the moment. That's very strong.
We stand with Dom.
Well, this is awkward.
Jason plays everything with a sense of humor.
Or we race. If you win, you take me in. If you lose, don't lose.
You all came because you wanted to see a race. Let's race!
Jason dancing. Jason every day came dancing. There was music on set every day when Jason was there. It was never a boring set. Never did we feel like we were actually working on this movie. Everything was fun. I mean, you can imagine, just look at what we've been doing. And it's hard work, but it never feels like, today I'm going to work. Every day was fun and was a party.
Black on black look good. I know what you're thinking.
And also for this, you know, all that stuff that's all improvised. So you just like, you're surprised with everything every day. You come in with a plan. Me as a director, I come in with a plan and I'm surrounded by the best crew in the world. But that plan changes daily, hourly, because the actors have new ideas, something comes up, I have new ideas. We have to shoot the day and we do it, but we come up with so much better ideas, shots, performances. Vin and I, we always met before the day started and after the day ended, and we said, did we plus it up? No day had to be exactly as planned because that's part of it. And then we plus it up also in post-production. You prep your movie, you shoot the movie, post the movie. You need to optimize your movie at every stage. That was so fun to shoot. Just the excitement, you know, during these scenes. It's palpable. Between the crowd, Ludmilla, this amazing Brazilian singer, that shot that I had dreamt of doing that we did for real. That actually was done for, we invented a piece of grip and a camera just to get that shot done. That's done for real, no visual effect pulling back. It had never been done before. Just, again, like making you feel like you, the audience, feel like you're part of that race. shots like this, you know, driving around cars, zipping around, having fun with Jason, then coming back in and making it raw enough that it doesn't feel like a visual effect. One of my things is just to say that, you know, 50 to 75% of the image has to be real, like minimum, because you want to do it for real. Obviously, there's some stuff like this that's impossible to do, but you know, there was the before and the after, and we tie these two together. That shot, same thing, tied together. This is fun, and you feel like you're all part of it. The music is great, the sound is great. You don't cut around too much. Sure, you cut fast, but you don't, you know, you don't clip, cut. It's just, you know, you let the audience see what's happening.
You gonna save her? Or are you gonna save him?
Let's go, baby! This race is...
And again, feeling and knowing and understanding what the stakes are and what the goal is, and, you know, the geography and the ticking clock. It's always part of that. That is action filmmaking. And poor Diogo, you can feel him, you know, it's just there, he's almost was there. That scene was so important for all of us. When I came on board, I said, I want to have a quarter-mile race. Obviously, we'll twist it, you know, it's not 2 cars, it's gonna be 4 cars. There'll be bombs, there'll be twists. Dom's not going to win, but that's important. That's important for the, you know, to bring back the movie to its roots. The movie's evolved and the characters have evolved and technology has evolved, but it's a movie about street racing, so let's have a street race in the movie. And then right after the street race, you know, which is like, you know, sort of like bringing it down, you know, we go, you know, the first shot is of a robot, you know, cauterizing Letty's wound. So you're like, okay, well, this is how far we've gone, you know, and just having Letty and Cypher next to each other, just you stretch the movie and you take the full canvas and you paint on the full canvas that you were given by the previous filmmakers, and you have fun with it.
And now I'm the best racer in the world. So do not touch that. Let it dry. You guys look fantastic.
And then sometimes you paint outside of the canvas. So that scene is actually very, very different than any Fast and Furious scene we've ever seen before and anybody's ever shot before. But we needed that. We had so much fun with Dante and his character that we wanted to have a full-fledged version of who he is. So we came up with this idea of him having a conversation, well, frankly, a monologue with the 2 tech nerds that he kidnapped from Cypher's lair.
We should get back to work. Such a stickler. All right, let's see. Should we take all their money?
Obviously, these guys are not doing very well.
So mi casa, su casa.
You know, it was just like a sum of like, we never thought that this scene would be in the movie. So it was a sum of like us adding element after element of craziness. You know, the rope, the hair, the dead guys, putting tape over the dead guys' eyes so they stay up, and giving them crazy smiles, and then the fly and the cocktails. I mean, we did it never thinking it would make it into the movie, and we started testing the movie, and everybody loved the scene. It was just, so we're like, okay, well, I guess the audience is telling us that, you know, we need to put it in. It was more for us to just have a scene for the DVD extras, but then that scene became one of the most iconic scenes of the movie.
Whoa, cool. What is that?
That's
It's a technical toolkit. Don't worry, it's just a bunch of awesome stuff that you're never gonna get to use. Okay?
John Cena is so comfortable. I mean, and Leo also was like, I must say, like for a young actor, I was very, very impressed with him. He's so real and so at ease. It's just the two of them. The interaction was so good and so fun.
Time to get you some new clothes. You know, some a little more chic than PJ pants, right?
From a gas station?
From a gas station!
Just funny, awkward relationship that just ends up being such a strong moment.
On us after all we've done for them.
That madman pinned it all on us, and now we're public enemy number one. Well, Dom is gonna meet us at the rendezvous point. But in the meantime, we have to stay under the radar, and we gotta get ready to fight.
Wait, so we need guns, artillery, tanks?
So no scene is wasted in a movie. You know, every scene is important. And also every scene needs to, because of our different characters in Fast, you need to intercut between all the scenes and link all the scenes. So we just saw Dante take all their money, so we need to see what happens. And then we catch up with our group, our Fantastic Four, and we just have them realize that they're broke.
We need more computers.
They're broke except one of them.
What do you mean, we broke?
Wait, you holding out on us? No wonder you've been so calm.
Bruh, what do you think this is, bruh? You know what? Turn around.
Turn around? What do you mean turn around? Man, I'm a grown-ass... Hey, Roman,
what are you doing?
I love how proud Tyrese is when he opens his jacket. It's just so... We didn't put all this... I mean, the stuff he did in that scene was crazy. It's just like he's so fantastically imaginative in his comedy, Tyrese. He's so great. And just like, you can see in the cutaways to the other guy's eyes, like everybody was cracking up. Like they make each other laugh so much.
I need from all of y'all. I need receipts.
Who's he talking to?
The thing about the receipts, it's so funny. Just having the four of them together was really a present for me. It's just, it was the greatest gift that I could have had, because it just made for such a fertile ground for comedy and emotion, frankly. You want to hang out with these people.
Wait, the agency's after us. Aren't they gonna see our faces?
Yeah, I'm counting on it. First rule of tradecraft, you can't lose a tail if they don't find you. Oh, sorry. I'll just... Wait, you know what?
Cameo, Debbie Ryan, Josh Dunn, so yeah.
Let's go around. Great. Go around.
Sir, we just got a hit on the boy and his uncle.
Again, linking, interacting, that's what this movie feels like. You're propelled forward, because there's always a cause and consequences. There's something happen, and you set up, payoff, set up, payoff, set up, payoff, and it sort of like brings you forward. But you have like different ways. You have like short setups and payoffs, and then longer ones. But it's all intertwined, and it just feels like you're on this adventure with them. Pay attention to everything. Everything will pay off, even the smaller things.
That's where Dom is.
You knew who I was all along, didn't you?
From the moment I saw you, your sister smiled with her eyes and led with her heart. Just like you do.
We were nothing alike. She was the good sister.
This was a moment that we knew would be difficult to capture. Just this moment of truth. In this movie where the stakes are really high and we move fast, we have fun with everything. Just to have a moment where we stop and get to be with the characters and emote.
You're wrong about not being anything like her. You think that's what she wants to hear?
I couldn't have done it without these two amazing actors giving each other so much emotion.
They traveled down the same road long enough. and they realize how much alike they really are.
That's a beautiful moment.
Trust me.
Obviously, he's talking about Elena, but he's talking about so much more. And it's also Vin talking about so much more. And the tears are real. And the whole crew was crying when we shot this scene. And it didn't take us long, but it was just, we just made sure we created a pause in our shooting schedule and in our excitement and in our movement forward, just to create this parenthesis of emotion.
Her life trying to take them down. I think I still have her files.
Wait, so we're gonna find military-grade gear in the middle of London?
You said you wanted to shop off the grid.
Wait a second, did we just time travel?
Would you look for a black market operation in a place like this?
And we're back in London.
Ooh, snacks. Give me a receipt, homie.
And to possibly were the craziest 2 days on the shoot because of one person.
Tax write-off.
This guy.
What's up, OE420?
Oh, shit.
So when Pete arrived on set, there was this weird excitement because we were like, because we all know Pete Davidson, and we all know what is his public personality, his SNL personality, and everything. But who is he in real life? Like, who is Pete Davidson? Does he come with does he want does he want a trailer that's bigger than that? No, he's the nicest. Walked in, put in the wardrobe, said, "What do you want me?" And then I turned on the camera, and the magic happened. We were laughing so much. And the craziness, the laughter in this moment is not created by a sum of lines, and yes, they are. It's just the absurdity of the situation, just grabbing every moment and seizing it and just making it the funniest moment you've ever seen. A muffin that was a prop became a story point. The money that was just a natural exchange became, another story point. The guys fighting, which was, had been sort of like teased for many movies, becoming a reality, but in the most awkward of ways. You don't want Tej and Roman to fight and be the best fighters ever. So they fight and it's awkward, and Pete is in the middle and trying to stop it all, and then Han is eating the fun muffin, and it was all written sort of like loosely, and then became a reality almost in post-production as we found all the great dailies that we shot. Like, we had so many options thanks to all of them. We actually had versions that were too funny that we tested, and people were really rolling on the floor and at the end saying it's the best, the funniest scene ever, it's the funniest movie ever, where it was throwing the balance of the movie off a little bit because it just was too funny. And the stakes out there are still real,
Okay. All right. We doing stomachs now.
All right.
You've been wanting that for years.
I think he hit the coffee machine so hard it works now.
What the hell was that?
It's like a ghetto magician.
This dust thing, no one understood it. Tyrese calls me one morning. He's like, "Come see me. I've got this idea. If you're cool with it." And it's like, "I've got this dust thing that I want to do." And obviously, we shot in England. The crew doesn't know LeBron James, doesn't know anything. But it's not a LeBron thing perfectly. But they didn't understand what was going on. So they were like, "But where does he get the dust? So how, where, why?" In order to justify the scene, I had the crew put little boxes of chalk all around the set, so at least we're like, okay, well, he gathered that, but I do like that it's weird and doesn't make sense, and it's like weird dust, and and he has dust in his pocket, makes no sense, but I love it. Love it. Ladies and gentlemen, the moment you've all been waiting for, the Battle of the Dams. So that actually was a moment that had been teased before, and where Letty and Cypher and the tension between them, they had to come to blows. So but just to have the two of them team up, it was just so unexpected.
Their air conditioning, and I bought us a few minutes before these cameras reset, and they find out this place turned into a sleep study. You gonna stay grumpy, or do you want to get out of here? They're not gonna sleep forever. Don't you want to get back to your precious family?
And then Michelle and Charlize just playing together. It's just fun. It's always there's always this sort of friendly tension that's happening between them. And I think it's just the looks are great.
Now, was that so hard?
It's funny. They're egging each other on and everything. And then it starts. And then it goes. And then you go. She just wants out for a second, and it's just she wants to let it all out for 1 second. Okay, you think it's done, but no, never done with Letty.
I'd stay down if I was you.
You gotta hit me harder for that.
You're gonna regret this.
Look at these two incredible actresses fighting together. Just look at this. This is mastery. Obviously, they have stunt doubles for their, for the very complicated stuff, but they are doing this fight. This is Michelle and this is Charlize, and they're fighting. This obviously is impossible. They cannot do this, but they crashed and they fell. Look how precise they are in their timing. And again, what I was saying about Charlize, you can say the same thing about Michelle. The acting is always on. These punches came so close to each other's faces. The timing is perfect. To witness this was incredible, and to cut that and to be able to put it together was just even better, because everything works. Every hit works.
Portugal, mother from Pacific Islands, sociopathic tendencies from an early...
So these are all the various looks of Jason Momoa throughout the years. These were not doctored. This is Jason and his various haircuts, and then we use that.
Now sold and repoed.
Except this one.
The police station.
It's been abandoned for years. And guess whose name is on it, indeed?
Dante Reyes. I found my answer there.
I'm coming with you.
I need you to stay safe.
The sets are beautiful. Jan Rolfs, our amazing production designer, and his team, they're incredibly talented. And they recreated Brazil on stage, and they made it so amazing. I mean, that set it looks like a favela. I've shot in many favelas before, and, on The Incredible Hulk. This is exactly what it looks like. We shot it there for timing reasons, they're in England for timing reasons, but frankly, it would have looked exactly the same had we shot it on location.
Oh, hey, se liga. Maluco perdido na quebrada, irmão.
Guys, you don't want to do this.
He needs a new watch, cop.
Look, the watch was a gift, but I got 16 carats of uncut diamonds in my jockstrap if you want to take a look.
Alan Ritchson, for a man his size, I mean, he's 6'4", 6'5", just pure muscle. He moves so fast. He's so incredibly gifted as an actor and as a physical stunt performer. He's so fast. That man is going to become one of the greatest movie stars, I think.
Be okay? Tried gum? Gum helps.
I don't like planes.
If it's the height, that's gonna be an issue. You know, I used to be scared of cars. After my dad died, I guess I blame myself. It was tough. I had panic attacks.
They're lovely, these two. It sort of like grounds me when I, as a way, I hope it grounds the audience, but when we get back to their side of the story, and, it's just like it feels soft, it feels right. It reminds me of, the family aspect of Fast and, how important it is, and, the more traditional things. And speaking of family, this is Meadow Walker. This is Paul Walker's daughter, and that's her first acting part. She was very nervous. She was so good and so real, and we love to have her be part of our franchise and welcoming her. And, hopefully that's just the beginning for her character.
We're gonna get up and go to the bathroom. Ready? 3.
She's good. She's really good.
Who were those guys?
She had never acted before, and now she's an actress. I'm happy she'll continue on. When I saw that set, speaking of Jan, and when I saw that set, I was like, oh no, what have you done? Because he built that set like a real set, like it's like a cargo hold, and obviously no regular, tall man can stand in there, and John Cena is, 6'4", and that set was minuscule. If you will see a wide shot, there you go. It's like, this poor John and us and the whole crew, we had to, be on our knees all day shooting that scene, and we're very happy when those doors opened because we could get out.
I'm glad it wasn't the height. Enjoy the ride, little B.
I love Jacob and all his spyware. It's cool stuff.
Bowie tagged us. The agency is on our tail.
Back to England.
Get to the rendezvous as soon as possible.
It's right here. Guys, hold back. Let me take care of this.
No, that's a bad.
It's the first movie I saw in France, and I took one of my friends with whom I was shooting a movie with, my lead actor, to see the movie, and we absolutely loved it. And we're like, oh my God, this is so good. This is what we want to do. And that actually made our movie, our first movie, better because we were influenced and excited by it. And then that friend became a giant movie star. And that movie was Transporter, and my friend was Jason Statham. And I was so happy to get to work with him again on this one. And also to have this Justice for Han finally pay off, in the greatest, most Fast and Furious way, meaning having a big, full fight.
Should have stayed dead.
I can get in.
I'm not allowed to repeat myself.
You ruined my snacks. Relax. I don't want to fight you.
And this is gonna end quick.
And also it's a fight with a sense of humor. Snacks are involved. screaming bags are involved, and also a great fight choreography with Jason, who's one of the greatest fighters in the world. Jason wants like quick, fast, hard, action-related blows. He wants to feel the stuff. He wants to, he wants us to feel the intensity of the action, because he can do it, and he's so powerful and so strong. He's the quickest, and he can do, like, on Transporter, we were doing 10, 12 moves back to back in one shot, like incredible stuff. So we wanted to capture this again, because again, it was like 20 years ago, so let's do it again. So we brought some of that Transporter humor into Fast. And there are many sort of like winks to Transporter in this one. It's just one guy against 10 guys. The smoke, instead of the oil, that was really fun. And the moves also are very Transporter. So we just, it's obviously very much an homage. And then having this triple, quadruple side edit with the gang fighting outside, and then Han and Shaw fighting outside, and then, frankly, the justice for Han happening right there.
Now we're even.
And the last thing is the code for his door. Last homage to Transporter is the code for the Transporter car, 1732. This is the tag for 9 when Jason is beating up this guy inside the punching bag. It was so funny that we were like, can we find this actor and get him back and get him to come out, and not understanding what happened, why. That's actually one of the things that I love about Fast and Furious. There's some like really almost sort of like surreal humor here and there that's never explained, and you just like, you enjoy it and you explain. It's never explained in this one, but who knows, like in Fast 27, although we're going to stop soon, but like this guy could have his own arc, and I think it's fantastic. I love that.
They're safe for now.
I don't care about dying. I only care about protecting the people that I love.
Hold us in your heart.
That room, really great idea also from Jan Rolf. So that was supposed to be a room with lots of pictures, kind of like a mad board type of a room where you could see all of Dante's machinations. And then Jan had this idea of using screens, making the whole thing very interactive.
How do you like my place? I'm bummed I'm not there to show you around. And a little embarrassed you saw my vision board.
Obviously, Jason adding his little je ne sais quoi to it. It's always funny. He messes with Dom. Dante messes with Dom. He wants to get under his skin. He's getting under the audience's skin. You love to hate Dante.
I never got that chance. Collateral damage, chaos, death. This is your legacy. I'm your legacy.
You know what I can't figure out? How someone born so rich chooses the poorest path through life. You got no honor. Without honor, you got no family.
I love the projectors also. There was an idea that we came up with just to add almost like an aura, just to show, sort of like the light and the dark. I mean, that's really what it's about. That's the battle of the Fast and Furious movies. It's the battle between light and darkness.
I'm gonna break yours. Piece by piece.
Stop talking and face me.
Do you like surprises, Dami? I adore them. The game's not over yet. There's still so many people to hurt.
I'm coming for you.
That's gonna be hard to do in handcuffs. Okay, bye, Dami. No, you hang up first.
That was perfect. You hang up first. That was very, very funny. That's Jason's little cousin called Nene who came up with this idea. She came up with this on set, and I thought it was so hilarious. I was like, oh yeah, say that, Jason, say that. And that was so funny. Just to have this guy, he's playful. Dante is playful. Again, the beauty of now having all these streams, these different arborescences of story come together, and how they're like very smoothly, organically coming together at the end of scenes. That's the beauty of the script that Justin Lin and Dan Mazeau wrote. It just was very organic, and what I had to do was then afterwards just find those connecting points and just have everybody come together towards a singular goal that is vague at first and then afterwards.
Great. Just great.
That's a great reveal. That was really fun. Actually, it was my first day on set. I thought it was just a really fun moment in Antarctica.
A little chilly?
The plan still sucks.
Maybe, but at least you'll be warm. Thank you, Simon.
You want these two to be like the greatest of frenemies, because they are. They're two badass women, and it's just like, I think I would watch many movies just with the two of them.
You ain't on my Christmas list either. Nothing here is for free. Let me be clear on that.
Make sure you get a receipt from him, okay? I'd love to see that.
Well, I guess Barry wasn't entirely worthless. I can use his hard drive to complete our trace of Dante. He's been
The receipt thing is very funny.
How does he do it by himself?
Again, that's good writing, really good writing, where you set up, payoff, but like, and then you pay off in a longer stream. I think it's actually, you respect the audience when you do that, because you know they're on board with your movie and the sense of humor.
That's exactly why we need to link back up with Dom at the rendezvous point.
You need to see this. They've been paid to target us. And anyone who ever helped us until now.
Mom.
It's incredible to see how many beautiful, stunning, gigantically talented actors have been in the Fast and Furious movies. Eva Mendes. It's just like everybody's been in Fast, and more to come, because I think it's so attractive to have this playground and just to enjoy yourself. Road Rage. That plate was very funny. I used it when we were doing tests. Every time I was changing it, I was doing different jokes, and I was like sitting next to Peter Kramer, who's the head of the studio, and he was like, I was making jokes for him, and he knew that every time the plate was coming on, it would be like an inside joke, and he would get upset and elbow me in the ribs every time. We had a great relationship with Peter. He's amazing.
You should have spent less time with your head under the hood and more time preparing for what's coming. Spies have been replaced by satellites, fighter pilots by drones, intelligence by an algorithm. The days where one man behind the wheel of a car can make a difference are over, Dom. Hell, the days of any man behind the wheel of a car are over.
He's so good at delivering. He's so constant and so good. You can give Alan Ritchson the phone book and he will sell it. This was a very difficult scene to shoot, actually, because it's sort of like, it's actually quite hard to shoot an action scene that has the bad guys on one side, the good guys on the other. And it's just very hard. It's like shooting a war scene, old-timey battle scene with two sides on opposite corners. And it was very difficult. So my idea was to bring the car back in. You know, it's Fast and Furious. And I was like, how will Dom, who knows cars better than anyone, deal with this situation? Well, he will use the car before he'll use the gun. And he will use the car as a diversion, but also as a ram and as a rocket and as his greatest ally. And the alliance between Ames and Dom was very strong in this moment too.
I'm only here to hurt you.
Oh, I'm not gonna lie to you. That little car stunt you just did, that was pretty awesome, wasn't it? That's so cool. But if you don't stop, I'm gonna cut
Jason
everywhere, badly.
I mean, basically these scenes are like, you know, they move from A to B to C to D, but the dialogue that Jason brought to the table was absolutely improvised, including that leaking. Just licking this poor Daniela's face was just, I was like, okay, he licked her once. I was like, okay, Jason, I asked Daniela, I was like, you okay with it? She said, yeah. I was like, you have 2 more takes and that's it. You know, I was like, okay, no problem. But, you know, it's, you just, as an actor, he asked her also, he had asked her, you know, no one was surprised, but it's just you can play the bad guy, but you have to also make everybody comfortable. But we enjoy having that fun, and just like the tooth also, and pulling the tooth and calling him butthole and all that stuff. That was his thing. That's the character. That's Dante, getting under people's skin, just pushing the buttons and making Dom mad and preventing Dom from taking him out just simply because he knows that there's much more at stake. That Dante has many layers to his plan.
Wait for it. Oh no, she's in peril. What will you do? You know what your problem is? Family. Can't save them all. 5.
Sometimes, yeah, the act disappears and it becomes cool and dark. And Dante that's the power of Dante. And what's so scary is just he switches on a dime. He's a snake. He will bite you fast.
May I please have the God's eye?
Screw you.
No? Pretty please? Oh, there it is. Ooh, gotcha. Good trade. Keep the car. Oh, dummy! I told you!
And the operatic performance is in his costume, in the car he drives, in the music he listens to, and, you know, he's the anti-Dom. And he's the anti-Dom by design.
It's everything. You killed my father on this bridge. Now I know where.
He's projecting him an image that you know, he says Dom has created, a legacy of pain and suffering that now Dom has to pay for.
You're gonna be okay, Tess. It went clear through.
Kinda hurts.
Father will be proud.
You will stop him. Have faith.
And here's again the beacon. But now it's bloodied and stained with all the lives at stake. And it's all on Dom's shoulder.
She needs a hospital.
You okay?
I got her. Go save your son. My nephew.
It's nice. The moment the whole family is coming back together. That's the power of Fast and Furious, you know. You can take the family apart, but they will always come back together, and the family is who you create. And, you know, Dom leads with love and integrity, and he gathers strength and force from other people, and people will follow him in his mission to save the world.
Get caught outside, little bro, now I'm gon' hop out. You gang or not, come see, just pop out. We switches, the ops out. You used to be gang, you switch.
We have a great soundtrack. The songs in Fast are also so very important. We wanted to come back to this. It's true that maybe 9 had less songs, and, you know, I wanted to, you know, go back to the essence of Fast, you know, the fun, the party. It feels like, you know, you get excited when watching a Fast and Furious movie. You know, you come out full of energy, and the emotion is high, but also the fun is high.
Hey. You know your dad. He's got to make it safe. Just wait.
I love you, Uncle Jacob.
Oh, that moment is very sweet. They're great together, these two. Just this moment spoke to me. And this whole story spoke to me.
Project I've been working on. You wouldn't be interested.
Portuguese air.
This plane is amazing. It's kind of like, so we're designing the plane, you know, the paint job on this, like a Bugatti, you know, so we just had fun with all the vehicles.
Just been sitting there thinking, man. I knew I smelled something burning in here. Tej, it was my mission. Y'all took my lead.
Fast is like, it's like an interesting, it's like a delicious meal, but, you know, there's different ingredients you have to get right, and the vehicles and the cars, obviously, first and foremost, but, you know, motorcycles, planes, boats, everything they have has to be very special and has to mean something. So, you know, what would Shaw's plane look like? And, yeah, it would be full of gadgets inside, full of amazing cars, and the outside would be the coolest plane you've ever seen.
Come on, man.
We love that moment. These two, they're great friends. They're such great friends in real life. It's so nice to see the two of them work together and just, like, you know, have just such a great chemistry and just so nice.
Just allergic to your bullets.
You want to be friends with them.
Hey, go easy there. You're gonna break that thing. You all right?
God's Eye was just used to send dozens of mercenaries after Dom's son. Something I created. Hurting the people we love. It was meant to help. This is bigger than just Dante. This is big.
Ramsey is such an interesting character. She just came in deeper into the story, and then now he's, you know, sort of like coming back forward because there's something deeper that's happening. God's Eye, just him getting God's Eye is just the beginning. There's something deeper that Dante is part of, and she knows it, and that's what's going to happen. And here we go. Beginning of the third act. So again, as all the threads have been spread out and some have gathered, now we're heading towards the finale of our movie. And Dante's big plan.
No guns. I need this little shit alive. At least for a while.
And his big plan is to kidnap Little B. How we'll do it. well, he's gonna send an army after him. Which made me laugh. We were always reading the web to see what's going on. People saw that car the first time, they thought it was a time machine, which I thought was hilarious. But it's not. It's a good old cannon car.
You ready?
Ready.
To make an El Camino into a cannon car is possibly the coolest idea ever.
Song lyrics, stub toes, and cannon cars. Here we go.
This was shot in Portugal. This was shot in the middle of the summer in Portugal, and it's scorching hot. I mean, I'm talking 120 degrees Fahrenheit, you know, 45 degrees Celsius. We actually did the old bake the egg on top of a car. It worked. It's just like, it was so hot. And we wanted this sort of like Mad Max feeling in the beginning, you know, in a quarry and have like destruction. Then, you know, boom, you go onto this freeway. We had to change locations. We're supposed to shoot somewhere in Eastern Europe, and then something happened. We couldn't shoot there, so we changed locations, but I couldn't go there because we were shooting. So I basically scouted on Apple and Google Maps. I was just like, I never set foot before we actually shot it. So, you know, this would have been impossible 10 years ago, but then we just like came up with it on the web, looking at the stuff that was cool that we can use, so that freeway, that path, that quarry.
Look!
I'm coming for you, son.
Then the idea of Fast, you know, the stunts of Fast, it's kind of like they always take it to the limit, you know, around the edge of impossible. Sometimes it's a little bit more impossible than others, but this idea was real. Like the plane was lowered enough, and then the car was really dropped. We didn't drop from the plane, we dropped from the crane, but the Charger was really dropped on two other cars. That was the idea. Had the car not been dropped on two cars, it would have been completely destroyed. But this idea of using the two cars as a, you know, as a mat just to dampen your landing was actually realistic and done for real. So we did it.
Ames, we're on our way.
Dom, I'll be touching down 5 clicks west, but they're still on your tail.
It's jammed. B, what are you doing?
This tunnel was really fun. Obviously, we shot Leo and everything on stage. But this idea of like going into a dark area for a second just to have the kidnapping be, you know, more surprising was important, you know.
Uncle Jacob! I fixed it!
And now Dante has Lil B. So now his plan has come to fruition.
Dom, I lost him. Dante has little B.
And he's playing with him. He's playing with Dom. He has his son, and he's putting him on the other side of the freeway just to play with him, just to show him that he can, that he has the son.
Welcome to the big showdown. It's the last lap. Check out my co-pilot. Dad! Who could have seen this coming? I mean, you know, except for me.
It is, you know, as per usual, it is very hard to drive these cars. It's even harder to shoot them because you have to drive as fast, even faster, but also operate cameras, and then you have these car cranes and drones and all that stuff. You just have to, I want to salute the crews that shoot these stunts because they're often, you know, as good, if not better, stuntmen than the people driving the cars. They really are incredible.
Raise the hell of a sun, Dom. Time for me to step out from under your shadow.
So this idea was mine, you know, and so I take full responsibility, but I told John, I was like, I think after this amazing journey, you know, when something happens that prevents Dom from getting his son, I think you should sacrifice yourself in order for him to get his son. That would actually be the honorable conclusion to your life as brothers, of what you've done to him, what you've done for each other, and what happened, and, you know, the misunderstandings that you guys had. But this is no misunderstanding. This is the most beautiful brotherly love act that one can do. It was really a beautiful moment, really loving moment.
It looks like Uncle Muscle won't be coming to the next barbecue. I mean, it's very honorable.
3 miles away. Take the service road. It'll lead you right to the airfield.
Then we had to go back to the action, the core of the action. So we had to have Jason insult Dom and the audience at the same time and just mock the death of Jacob, the sacrifice of Jacob.
Amazing. Cool.
And then we bring these helicopters and having them almost fish Dom out of the road.
You got it. You got it.
Dom, and definitely Dom's scar, you know, it's like marlin fishing, and, you know, he's fighting so hard for it. We have these amazing pilots, and Fred North is the best, you know, has been on Fast and Furious forever, and he's a Frenchman too, and, you know, my first movie, Transporter 1, you know, he was the helicopter pilot, and, you know, meeting all these people, our careers have gone many different ways, and just to meet them again on this movie was very special to me.
He's good. Your dad's good.
So this idea that Dom is now going to use these flaming wreckage, these flaming hulls of the helicopters as bollards and as, you know, sort of like
Feel the car.
nunchucks, and doing like car kung fu was insane on paper, but we wanted to do it for real. So we had all these ideas, and, you know, how does the cables comes and unlatch itself and does all that stuff. So it was very complex technically, and made even more complex because we're shooting in the middle of fire season in Portugal, but we made it very safe and everything happened. This moment is great. This moment is a perfectly exciting Fast and Furious moment, with the moment paying off, the lesson paying off, and just the car physics helping the hero to save his son, just to helping Dom to save his son, but also Dom empowering his son to jump out of Dante's car and into his, and just taking that leap of faith. Leaps of faith are very important in Fast and Furious movies. You know, Dom relies on skill and faith, and just to go through all these obstacles. And this moment was very important. And another moment is about to happen, where the leap of faith is very important. This dam is incredible. So that dam, it's in the front, really on the edge of Portugal on the left where Dante is, and Spain on the other side. And this is the dam where one scene from Dr. Zhivago was shot. So he hasn't been seen for many times. So it's such an iconic dam. It looks like a more Baroque version of the Hoover Dam. Dams are really impressive.
You're exactly where I wanted you to be. Yes. Wait for it. I got a surprise for you.
The cavalry's arrived.
We got you, Dom. Roman, get out of here. It's a trap.
Plane going down. That was a big moment for us. Really big moment for us. Big moment for also the Fantastic Fours inside, you know, all of them.
See, that's the problem with having a big family.
And Ames' turn. Listen, listen. You hear them screaming. Ugh. That's it. That's it.
Is that your new friend?
This is what was so powerful when reading the first script. Just the fact that the family are sacrificing themselves or, you know, are taken out by this truly monstrous character, and how he's played them all, and how he's pulled the strings since the very beginning. 10 years of organizing, buttoning his plan.
Well, looks like our partnership's off to a fantastic start.
You know, Dominic, to become a real saint, you have to perform miracles or die a martyr. So what's it gonna be?
All of this to make one man suffer. Dominic Toretto, his arch enemy.
I took your money, I took your freedom, and I'm gonna take your family. And you're gonna die knowing that you couldn't save your son.
Dad, I have faith.
But just like he took power from his abuelita, Rita Moreno, from Queenie, Helen Mirren, he's gonna take power from his son. And through the greatest leap of faith, he's gonna drive out into nothingness. This moment is insane. This is the moment I dreamt about since I was five years old. I've played with my toy cars. I was like, this is the moment I've wanted to see in movies for the last 40 years. This is the moment. This is what I wanted to give the audience. And also wanted to give it in a very Fast and Furious way. So coming back to this ride through the engine, but also using Dom and Little B as connective pieces, and to see how they all link together into this one moment of pure energy. This is the moment where I jump out of my seat. So Dom has saved Little B. Dom has saved Little B, and he did it at what cost? What was the cost of saving his son? He's lost his entire family. And he went to hell, literal hell, to save his son. The visuals were important here. I wanted to create hell on earth, surrounded by brimstone and fire. You know, you can hear the earth cracking, fire around them. He's holding his son.
Suffering is over, Dom. It's time for you to die.
But it's not over. Because Dante would never let Dom live. And that's why we finish our movie, on a cliffhanger. No Fast has ever done this, but we all looked in each other's eyes and decided to do this. This is a to be continued that will need a lot of new alliances. And people from the Fast coming back. Such as Giselle.
No way.
Yes, Giselle is back.
Plan sucks.
Gal Gadot is an absolute treasure. And when we called her and exposed our plans for the next one, she couldn't have been happier. And obviously it was all part of the plan. It was all part of the plan since she disappeared. I love this credit sequence. I wanted to continue the story a little bit in this main end and sort of like pay homage to the previous movies and the previous cast and tie them to the new. And what of the family to me, and this beautiful picture from Fast 7 reminds me of the saints around the Vatican, the St. Peter's Square in Vatican. So I built it around this, and Prologue, our amazing credits vendor, just created this amazing race in hell. That's what it is. This is where Dom is, and this is where the family is. They're in hell, and they're racing against the devil.
But I won't back down. But I won't back down. Oh yeah. And now I feel my hands trembling. Oh Lord, ain't no promise I'll breathe again. But I won't back down. And when my hands get cold and I'm on my own through the dark I crawl. And when my bones feel weak, I will keep running.
Seeing all these names, I cannot believe how lucky we were to have all these incredible actors, incredible crew members work on our movie. This is number 10. This is, quarter of a century. There's so much more gas in the tank for this franchise, and we couldn't be more excited to have presented this movie for you. But obviously we need a tag, and we need to propel the movie forward in a way that was unexpected a few months ago, a few years ago. We wanted to shoot this very moody piece of this SWAT team, entering this LA old theater house, deserted movie house. And this haunting song, you know, the Dale Evans and Roy Rogers song, Happy Trails, echoing through the halls. And the leader comes in, and because what I wanted was to come back to where it all started, come back to the bridge. That moment that changed all of their lives. Killing Hernan Reyes was just the beginning. They thought they helped the people. They did, you know, you can see what it did to Brazil. But in doing so, they cursed their whole family. But they made friends along the way. And one of them is Agent Luke Hobbs. Yes, Dwayne Johnson is back. And he's back into the main franchise.
I ain't hard to find. You some bitch.
Cannot wait for part B. So that's it. That's been an amazing ride, absolutely amazing ride. Greatest ride of my life. I had the greatest cast, the greatest crew, the greatest studio helping me. And really, at every step of the way, we made this movie thinking about the audience and thinking how we could finish our franchise. Me personally, as a fan, and now the director of the franchise, finishing it, you know, the greatest way possible with this greatest villain, the key cast, the historical cast coming all back together. And that's only part A, and much, much more to come. You will see. Just there's much to be excited about Fast and Furious. We're nearing the end, and it's going to be just, you know, as great as this journey has been. So, and I cannot wait to show you what we have in store. And thank you for listening to this comment, and can't wait for you to hear the next one. All right, goodbye.
Keep it on me when I'm riding. It's the gang, get me sliding, then I'm sliding. Come on, let's take a ride, 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 ride. Let's ride, let's ride, let's ride. Ride, 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 ride. Let's ride, let's ride, let's ride.
Tell me what it do. She gon' pick and choose. 4G's on her feet, pulling up in Jeeps. Round 4 deep, I'm like, baby, push the button. 100 on the dash, I ain't even had to touch it. Talking about war, told him ready up. Whip, I'm riding in fast. I ain't scared of nothing. Told her if she wanna ride with me, come and get lost. Know she messing with a boss.
If they riding with me, ain't my brother. Say they riding with me, but I know that they ain't loyal. Say they in your team, but they ain't really rooting for you. Keep it on me when I'm riding. It's the gang, get me sliding, then I'm sliding. Come on, let's take a ride, 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 ride. Let's ride, let's ride, let's ride. Ride, 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 ride. Let's ride, let's ride, let's ride.
Baby diamond eyes, can you feel my storm? Hear the thunder strike, see the lightning roll. Lost a bet with time, clock is running low. Baby diamond eyes, time to let them close.